Good morning, Caroline. It is Wednesday, May 30th, 2012, and this is going along with what you were talking about on your blogger yesterday, or the day before, and in yesterday's video. You were talking about how you have final exams this week. I don't have final exams until next week, but, okay. So Caroline, as you know, I live in New York. You now live in Texas, but in New York, we take Regents exams. So I have 2 Regents this year, as well as finals. So when you're preparing for the Regents, which I know New York takes and so does Virginia, the first thing that you want to do is take your Regents books. This is my, what is this? This is biology and this is math. You just want to take them and smack them across your head. And then that's you hoping that maybe smacking your head a couple of times will jostle some information that you learned when there was a different last digit in the year. Number 2. Make use of any study guides your teacher gives you. This is what my science teacher gave us. And these are the things that my social studies teacher gave us. An important concept in the word final exam is that it's your last test of the entire year for that subject or for anything. Okay, so what you need to realize is it's differently weighted. Usually finals are encompassing your entire year's worth, cumulative exams, but sometimes they're not. Like I remember in my grammar school for English language arts, we did not have a totally encompassing exam for our final exam. We just took our last vocab test. Also, make use of your textbooks. They're very helpful and, you know, keeps your arms strong. These are helpful things. You can write down notes about what the date is for a video, or you can actually make... I live in a neighborhood. We have neighbors. It's unfortunate. So you can actually write things down on these and study from them on occasion. It's worth a hopeful shot. Another very helpful tip is, you know, when you only have like 2 or 3 weeks of school left, it is a great idea to leave a travel mug of tea that does not close in your backpack, and, you know, just let it spill all over your Spanish book, because, you know, it's so helpful that you can have that with you at all times. Teachers at the end of the year often give out these very tedious extra credit assignments, such as having all of your homeworks in your binder, or all of your labs, or all of the animals in my house are just coming outside. Okay, so they might have you make sure you have everything in your binder that needs to be in your binder, and you can get, they often count it as test grades, and you can get up to 100 just on a test you never took, and that's awesome. Unless you're like me, and you have things in your binder that you don't want your teacher to see, or you don't want your teacher to have possession of, such as notes about how much you hate the class, or the students in the class, or other teachers, or other classes, or people that the teacher doesn't know, or people that the teacher may know and doesn't want to know that you know. I don't want to tell anyone not to do this, because I've been doing it since I was about 5 years old and learned how to form sentences with a pen, but don't do it. I had to go through this binder last night and just remove things that would be incriminating. Okay, anyway. Also, if you take notes in your binder, consider getting like a tiny little 1/2 inch or 1 inch binder to just keep all your notes in, so that you don't have things like this in your binder. Honestly, I do not remember ever learning about Aristotle in science class. But Apparently he classified organisms into plants and animals. Pretty sure we learned that in social studies. This might possibly be the worst tip anyone can give you, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway. You should get a binder. This is a 1.5-inch binder from your local card store. I don't know what Rogoff's is actually. It's a store where people purchase things. That's usually what stores are. And they sell like toys and stuff. And then you should fill it throughout the year. You should get like little paper covers, the little plastic slips for paper, and you should spend your entire year writing songs or poems or notes to yourself about how much you hate the class in this binder. And then you can spend the weeks when your class is reviewing for finals and you think that you just don't need that, you can spend it rewriting said notes and songs and other bad things. Okay, this is pretty much the last tip, but if you have any homework or assignments or essays or tests or quizzes that you haven't done for your teacher and you really probably need to make them up, because those go in as a 0. Like, you might think that if you get 90s on 3 tests and then you don't take the 8 other tests, that you'll just get a 90 average on your report card. No, you will get like a 30 average because they put zeros in for every single thing that you do not have. The moral of the story, Caroline, is if you're not going to work during Spanish class or science class or English class or any other class that you may take, note cards, and you can always just spend the final clicking a little Sharpie highlighter, being obnoxious. Caroline, today is awesome because of this chair I'm sitting in. It's a very heavy chair and I dropped it on my foot 3 times when I was carrying it over from the other side of my deck.
17, a beauty queen, she made her ride the course to scene in the town. Her long blonde hair hanging down around her knees,